So welcome back to a brand new ASMR video tonight. I'm actually very excited to be doing one of these videos as I don't really think I've ever done one. Now, I have seen quite a few people do these videos before and in my opinion they are very, very entertaining and it really does help me with sleep as well as the entertainment. So I personally watch quite a few of these videos when I'm trying to sleep and whether I'm trying to, just relax and vibe out. So I thought, tonight let's go ahead and make one of my own. I have my laptop just at the side of me here. You are also positioned at a weird angle as well, and obviously the mic's a little bit offset. But yeah, I just thought, tonight we can do a Reddit horror stories video. So just before we do actually get into tonight's video, I do just want to mention that I am going to be starting to do a lot more whispered, dedicated ASMR videos. So there's not really any triggers, there's not really any mouth sounds, and it's basically me just solely doing whispers to you guys. So if that's something that you enjoy and something that you would really like me to start doing a lot more, then something that I urge you to do right now is smash a like on tonight's video, and yeah, that will massively help and motivate me towards making these videos once in a while. It could be crime videos, it could be these Reddit videos, or it could be story videos of my own. Now, some of you may be new as I haven't really done any of these videos before, and some of you as well are already avid viewers, so massive respect to you and welcome back to another video tonight. Now, just to speed this up a little bit, two more things. I have actually done story times in the past, and I have a channel which has over 100, I think it's like 110 stories on that channel of purely story times and ASMR story times, predominantly ASMR story times. So if stories are something that you enjoy, make sure you go over to that channel and check it out. The link will be in the description. And yeah, there's a plethora of ASMR stories that you guys, even those of you that watch me, have probably never seen. So yeah, make sure you go check that channel out if you really like ASMR stories. The last thing before we get straight into this video, I'm going to create my own personal email, and that email is basically going to be where you guys can send in stories, make them a little bit creepy or not, whatever you decide, but state what the story's kind of about. Is it like a horror, is it a comical, is it, you know what I mean? So like, subject, the story. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Let's go. Okay, so tonight we're on Reddit r/camping. I'll make sure to credit people who I can potentially credit down in the description box. I lived at the edge of a national forest in the southern US. We used to have a huge problem with armadillos digging up my mother's garden at night. So our solution was to go out every night with a shotgun to handle them. One hot summer's night, I came outside and I did my usual walk around, and as I was near to the back door, everything went silent. Not the silence of a hot summer's night, but the dead silence of every animal in the area going dead quiet all at once. I was immediately on edge and began looking around in the darkness. The flashlight on the shotgun cutting through the darkness. Then I pointed the light at the tree line about 50 yards away. What I saw really does still haunt my dreams if I think about it too much. It was a set of glowing red eyes. Now you'd think, oh, it's just a fox, deer, coyote eyes. No, these eyes were about 4 feet off the ground and more than about a foot apart. On top of that, there was nothing attached to the eyes. Nobody, no shadow, just nothing. scared me more than all of those combined. I raised the shotgun and fired. A massive fireball and the boom of the shotgun shattered the silence of the night. But the eyes remained, and this time the eyes, or whatever they were attached to, growled. It was a deep, guttural growl that seemed to vibrate off your bones. I began firing as fast as I could, walking backwards towards the house. The eyes began slowly advancing. I reached the back door, threw it open, and flipped on the floodlights. From the other side of the door, I heard an angry hiss like water being thrown into a fire. The eyes were gone, and though I didn't sleep that night, I never really saw them again. Okay, creepy little intro story, very spooky to get us going. This event happened to me and a group of friends in the summer of 2012 in Virginia. It's been a story I've told to a lot of friends and classmates, but left out personal details. This is the first time I'm sharing that detail. In high school, everyone was always looking to place a drink. That was the question every weekend practically. Where are we going to drink tonight? Once we found a spot where we could drink freely with limited chance of being arrested, we went there every weekend until we got bored. That sounds terrible, I know, but come on. We lived in an extremely boring, white middle-class, gated community, ridden down. Drinking was a way of fun to almost rebel against our parents and get away from the continuity of life there. So my family and I moved here to Virginia from the Midwest, and we did a lot of outdoorsy things when we lived in the Midwest. And once the move to Virginia happened, my dad ended up getting really sick, which prevented him from being outdoors for a long period of time. Camping was always something my family and I used to do when I was little, and now being a senior in high school, I remember how much beer my parents could drink without being disturbed. It was perfect. Get a bunch of buddies together, buy a few cases of beer, go out into the woods and camp for a weekend and get plastered for my birthday. So we did our research and found a nice looking place about 40 minutes away. So we packed the cars full with food and gear and of course beer. We got to the campsite. The place was packed with campers and tents and we could hardly find a spot. The only place, or the space I should say, that was open was site number 2, which was right by the registration office. Fudge. They will definitely be able to see us drinking. But we noticed that everyone in the office left at like 5 p.m. But all this was fine, as we found a sign that said no one will be back until 11 p.m. the next day. So we unpacked our stuff and camped for a weekend. The weather was absolutely perfect. We never ran out of beer. We got to go swimming in the lake. We got sun, and we got away with it. So then, of course, we go back to our cookie-cutter neighbourhood and tell all our friends how great it was. And the only question we had left was, when are we gonna go next? So later that same summer, we had planned to go on another camping trip. This was where it got all very strange. So we got like half of the original group to come again, as well as 2 very attractive girls who signed to go on with us. We were, of course, going to go back to the same place we went to last summer, where we had so much fun. So we did the 40-minute drive back to the campground, and I noticed it felt different on the drive-in. I attributed it to the cloudy covered sky, but something felt very different. We arrived at the campground together, and the first I noticed was that there was nobody there whatsoever, no tents or campers anywhere except for one. There was also nobody in the registration office, which I thought was strange for 3 p.m. on a Friday at the end of July. I just remember thinking, I should be weirded out by the fact that there is literally no one here right now. But nobody else seemed to be noticing it, so it might have just been me. But something's not right. It was like nobody else knew something that we didn't. The one other camper there didn't have anybody in it. We were there for 3 days straight, and we didn't see a single person come in and out of the camper the whole time. Nor did we see anything on the surroundings move around. The whole weekend ended up being very strange. Now, the weather was cloudy, rainy, and humid. So we spent a lot of the time in the tent just roasting and drinking beers. We were sitting in the tent when one of the girls says, "Is there someone walking around outside right now?" So I poked my head out the tent, and there was a state ranger parked at our side looking at me. I immediately freaked out because we had been drinking in the tent. So I said, "Hi sir, how can I help you?" And all he said back was, "Don't forget to pay your camping fees." Then he stood there for like a minute, just staring at me. He gave a small chuckle before backing up to his truck, getting in and driving away in the direction of the empty camper. I went back and told the story with relief because we got away with drinking, but something still didn't feel right about that. But that's not the detail. That comes into play on the night. We were sitting around the campfire, drinking beer and telling funny stories. Earlier in the day, one of our friends, Mitch, went to get more beer since, we ran out. The only problem was he left at 3 p.m. and still wasn't back by 12 a.m. So I was slightly freaking out. The culmination of all the weird things deterring me from drinking any beer that night, so I could stay clear-headed in case anything else weird happened. Boy, am I glad I made that decision. So we were all sitting around the campfire telling stories when I noticed a car drive up. Thinking it was Mitch, I jumped to see, but it was a brown, rusty-looking truck, and it pulls into site number 1, which is a stone throw away from us. It should have been made feel comfortable to know we are still not alone here in the woods, but it didn't. It made me paranoid, specifically for 2 reasons. Number 1, it was 12:30 a.m. There was no reason he should be here at this time if he was going to camping. 2, he didn't have any tents or camping equipment in the back. All he had was a blue tarp covering a half-full bed. So I stay away, but calm, not to freak out my group of friends. Well, I noticed him setting up a flood light and a wooden bench, but that's all I could see because he parked his truck on the far side of the campsite to block view from us. I took myself down saying, "Just calm down, you're being paranoid. It's probably something you don't want to get involved with." So I turned my full focus to my friends and even started drinking some beers. About an hour later, I made my worries about Mitch known to everyone, and they all calmed me down, but as I was agreeing with them, I looked up and saw a man walking onto our site, but I only caught him in the light of the campfire, so he was on top of us before I could even react. The man said, in a thick Eastern European accent, "Hello, I am the park ranger for this park, and I just wanted to offer you 2 compliments pieces of wood for your fire." That was terrible. You're not allowed to bring wood here, because it can have bugs on it. Enjoy and have a good night. We waited until he was out of earshot before giving it the "What in the fudge in hell was that? We're outside, don't, what? Don't bugs live out here?" was also going to voice my terrors and concerns with him in the car to see if he felt the same thing I did. We were driving down the road, looking for either a crashed car or Mitch heading in the opposite direction. As soon as I opened my mouth to ask if Mob was freaking out too, we saw Mitch speed past us, which was a huge relief to me. I whipped a quick U-turn and started following him back to the site. Once we were all back, we told Mitch the story of the strange wood guy, and we thought he had died, but he had bought the beer, and we all started drinking. Once he was back, I began to notice a pounding sound coming from campsite number 1. A short interval. I don't know if it's just me, but don't come knocking if the caravan's rocking. Anyways, terrible joke. Back to the story. That sounded a lot like chopping wood. Yeah, that makes sense. He's the park ranger, and he's chopping wood for them to sell, and he gives us 2 complimentary pieces. That makes sense. Until he ran out of wood, and then asked me to go steal some more. Nothing made sense about that. We bought bundles of wood, enough to last us enough through the night, and he was gone. So I thought I had to steal some wood. Now the wood tower was in between the site number 1 and site number 2, but he was close to site number 1. I snuck in from our campsite, through the woods, towards the wood tower. I was drunk at this point and was not scared of my mysterious wood chopper. So I get to the wood tower and begin sliding pieces of wood into my arms. The more I get, the less time I have to come steal more. So I grab about 8 big pieces and start sneaking back, but not before throwing a glance in the direction of site number 2, where the chopping sound continued. My eyes focused on the wooden bench where I saw the park ranger chopping with his machete. A human leg. I saw him plummet the large knife in the thigh, and it cut about halfway before he raised it again and slammed it back into the same spot, severing it from the rest. I closed my eyes and froze. I immediately started tearing up and felt like I was going to puke. I felt like I was standing there for hours in the dark with my arms shaking and folding, and the heavy wood and my eyes watering from the trauma that unfolded in front of me. I pulled my leg out of the frozen state and slugged back to our site. I dropped the wood down and just sat. I didn't know what to do. I could have said something, and we could have gone home and gotten in trouble, but I would have known everyone would be okay. Or I could keep quiet and not freak out. When I got back, the jokes about the wood guy were spewing out and everyone was just laughing, but it was as if someone had turned my hearing aid down and I was just listening to cotton. I told myself, it wasn't a leg, it was a log. It wasn't a leg, it must have been a log. This doesn't happen to people like you. It's a log. So after some time followed, it's a log. Remember? So after some time followed, we burned up the 8 logs I had brought back, and I just went into the tent and laid in bed. Everyone followed. I woke up the next day. The weather was beautiful, a nice hot summer's day. I looked over, and all my friends were alive and well sleeping and waking up next to me. That was one of my best feelings I've had, knowing that the night of worrying was for nothing. But I couldn't help but remember an extreme realistic dream of the wood guy peering into our tent from the screen window on the side. I made eye contact with him and shook my head. No, no, and he slowly walked away. But just a dream, I guess. Just a dream. Just a dream, I guess. Okay, that was a top-notch story. I really like that. So, yeah, 2 stories down, a warm-up one, and, a good story. Yeah, I really do think I'm going to leave it on a good note. I don't really do too much reading, so I'm sorry if my reading abilities tonight to read through a few more things, and obviously I was trying to make up for the mistakes that I saw when reading to make it flow a little bit better, and obviously the cuts and stuff. But hey, hope you enjoyed tonight. If you did, smash that like on the video, and yeah, I thought I'd leave it on a positive. Start strong, getting strong, you know how it be. But yeah, my people, thank you for watching tonight. A little change of settings as well, which is always good. I like to change up these settings and things. Yeah, I added some wall foam around this room. This is like my main room where I always record my videos. So yeah, that's wall foam. If you're wondering what that is, I kind of tried to do a shape of it. It turned out not too good, but hey, I don't think it looks too bad. Should lower it a little bit, but so yeah. I also plastered a few pieces elsewhere, and some more like running down there as well, just to scatter them a little bit. But what I was planning to do is do the whole room as like an acoustic room. But yeah, that's gonna take quite a bit of work. Maybe I'm gonna have to think about that idea. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed, and make sure as well you go to the email in the description if you have any sorts of stories that you would like me to read out in videos like this in the future. And yeah, with that being said, rest well, be careful when camping, or out in the woods hiking, or just in life in general.